Welcome to the shit show.
Tom, it is the All Elite Wrap-Up. We are the youngest podcasters alive. What did I say before? The Arnold Schwarzeneggers of squash and ham and eggers.
Yes, that is what you said.
You're on the All Elite Wrap-Up.
Come on.
Forbidden Door. Forbidden, parentheses, question mark, door, is this Sunday. This Sunday from the granddaddy of them all, the O2 in London. Noon in the one true time zone, yeah?
And actually, you know, we say that jokingly about the granddaddy of them all. O2 is actually one of them.
It can be up there, yeah, exactly right. It's a big deal over there. I'm excited for that. This show looks stacked. I've got it written out. We're going to make some predictions, and we're also going to test this punk that we keep hearing about. We're going to let someone else play along. This person out there trying to take everybody's job, AI. We're going to see how AI does.
Yeah, fuck you, Allen Iverson. I never liked you for the Sixers.
I mean, that's personal opinion of yours, but that's not what I was referencing. I was talking about the artificial intelligence. We've got some AI picks.
The only AI I do acknowledge is Allen Iverson.
Here's what I predict, that both AI and I beat you pretty handedly, and you'll still be wearing the Jeff Jarrett shirt, which, by the way, that reminds me, Tom, what are you wearing? Vibe check, right? This is your, right?
Oh, there it was.
Vibe check. Yeah, look. I got to see more than I wanted to see of Jeff Jarrett in just that brief second. For anybody new, we have a game where whoever loses these predictions that we're about to make tonight for Forbidden Door is going to have to wear that shirt next week, and then the next time we make picks here, right? And look at that. Don't you feel good in it, Tom? Doesn't it feel...
No,
refreshing?
It feels like failed dreams and watching your wife cheat on you.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
It somehow smells like his hair dye. It's weird.
Yeah.
Even if you wash it, it just like comes out.
Mm-hmm. You know, I hate this shirt.
Yeah.
There's no joke there. I just hate it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Hate's not a word I like to use, which is not true. I use it a lot. But yeah. Anyway, so stay tuned next week to see Tom wearing it again. See Tom in the pit of hatred again.
No. Well, you might see that, but you won't see me in this shirt.
In contrast, I'm just wearing a plain white tee. Like, see how angelic and bright and happy my life is, and then look at you over there.
Yeah, what are you, Bryan Danielson over there?
Hey,
how are we gonna sell new shirts? Well, what if I just wore a white one?
Man, WWE dropped the ball with the angry vegan gimmick. Like, that would have worked so great. They really should have leaned into that so much more.
Well, we've talked about it in the past, but the idea that he and then also CJ Perry, the now Juice Robinson, who were like, hey, save the earth. Like, those two were heels.
Yeah.
Fuck the whole over their company. All of them. Sucks.
He really should have been, but I can't keep like, don't buy this shirt. Don't buy this shirt. Reject consumerism. He should do that now. That's what he should do. He should run that bit back. Let's get
I will tell you this.
AEW title, like an ethically sourced AEW title, sustainable.
I'll tell you this. He was a joy to listen to on the commentary last night.
Yes,
you know,
but he did not once kick Yuta in the face, and I'm upset about that.
That's true. But, you know, once a quarter, wouldn't hate that.
I mean, yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Just because
maybe just at the pay-per-views, right? Maybe just at the big events. You got to pay to see it.
Or you start a tradition that he's the guy on for the go home show to every pay-per-view. Right. So it's like he gets you the most excited, and then there you go, you buy the pay-per-view, and then you get Taz, you get Nigel.
And then on the pay-per-view, he kicks Yuta in the face. This is what I'm saying, right? It's just the trifecta. It's all of it. You get, you know.
Actually, do you think he will be doing the pay-per-view because Nigel McGuinness will be in action, and they got Taz and probably Ian Riccaboni, and that's it. Other than Nigel, which will be in action. So maybe we'll see him again. That'd be great.
Maybe for some matches too. Like, you know, they like to rotate folks in and out so they can get a bathroom break and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Except for Excalibur. That motherfucker stays there all night.
He's right in his suit. That's what he's doing. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Hey, late breaking news.
Let's before we get into that. Excalibur. Really goddamn good. I think quietly one of the better commentators I think I've ever heard. Like, he manages to deliver very, very still straight and very professional, but still gets in his quips and his quirks and has a personality. Very well. Very good.
I don't understand the hate on him. I get it if you're like, he's not my favorite of all time. I'm not saying he should be everyone's favorite or even like the number one guy, but the idea that you could listen to, Manila folder Michael Cole and then listen to Excalibur and be like, well, Michael Cole's the voice of my childhood, therefore he's good. Fuck you. No, he's not. He's never been good. He is void of actual emotions. He sounds like a fucking Chat GPT voice come to life.
He was best when he was getting choked out by the Rock.
He was best when he wasn't employed. Fucking loser. But late breaking news, not really late, but breaking news.
Sky Moore traded to the 49ers.
But adjacent to AEW, Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, our good friend, Cutie Marshall's going to be in action. We forgot. Hey,
he sent an
picks
email.
week.
It's very professional.
Look, we'll get maybe, we got this Death Before Dishonor. After Death Before Dishonor, maybe we'll get him on. But he's taking on Golden Globe winning actor Paul Walter Hauser in a Fight Without Honor match at
Paul's winning this.
I hope so. He is not agile, so he's not going to give you the same athleticism that others are. But as far as hey, I know where to stand kind of stuff, the blocking of it, Paul's pretty good.
He gets the game, right? Because he's a fan and he knows what he's doing. So, like, he's going to know how to, like, do some spots and be trained on a few things, right? Like, stand here, hit this, and I'll flop around, make you look good. And Cutie, we razz on him a little and fuck with him. He is very good at that, right? Like, he's very good at, give me the celebrity. I'm going to make them look like $1 million and everybody's going to boo me. And we do. And he's good.
Yes. Speaking of Paul Walter Hauser, very good in the newest Naked Gun movie. Go check that out. I still will pump that up because that was a fun movie. He's also going to be in the upcoming Bruce Springsteen biopic. So, do you like Bruce Springsteen?
I mean, don't dislike, but I'm not like, I couldn't tell you like what albums had what songs and that kind of stuff or anything like that.
My thing, I want to see it because I don't get it. I've heard his music.
Sounds pretty fine, right? Yeah.
It's like, I want to well, maybe I missed it because gas prices were $6 and he was telling us to fuck the government or whatever.
I mean, but to me, he kind of has the Tom Petty feel where it's like,
well, Tom Petty rules.
Sounds like, but it's like, you're not sitting there saying like greatest of all time with Tom Petty. You know what I mean? You're not sitting, you are. It's the same song every time. That's what I mean. Like it's you know what I mean?
Tom Petty. Well, every artist is, right? Rihanna, every Rihanna song's the fucking same. And so is AC/DC, and so is
AC/DC is very much the same, yeah.
Yeah, and so the only band that I could think of that diversifies their music enough to where it's like, wow, that sounds nothing like the previous one, are two bands. And it's rock bands, admittedly, but the Foo Fighters and Rolling Stones, like those two bands, and maybe the Beatles, you could throw them in there as well.
Beatles, definitely.
Like, they're like, you listen to Sgt. Pepper and you listen to Eleanor Rigsby. Those two songs are nothing alike, but you listen to Highway to Hell and Hell's Bells and it's the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? So, but it rules.
That's why you like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? Sometimes when you have chocolate, you know what goes good with chocolate? More fucking chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so that's what the Bruce Springsteen folks are doing, right? They just really.
Well, maybe, but I want to understand. Man. I guess I just want to understand, because like when Ray Charles movie came out, I got that. I was like, okay, I I obviously wasn't alive, but I knew of the significance of him. But with Bruce Springsteen, I was like, wasn't there, again, Tom Petty and every other fucking white guy singing rock? Like, I don't get why he was the best, but that's why I'm excited to see it.
Yeah,
that's what you come to all
He was definitely a cult of personality, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's why you're here, right?
Is to hear about Bruce Springsteen, who I heard described as sounding like Frank Sinatra singing through glass in his throat. That's what I heard his singing style being described as. And I didn't hate that.
Descriptive. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Well, what we're here to do tonight is we are fresh off of AEW Dynamite last night. We are going to talk about this weekend's upcoming Forbidden Door, and we will be making predictions. And as we do that, we'll kind of backtrack. So we'll start with a match and we'll say, hey, if you remember on Dynamite, this is what led us up to here, and then we'll make some predictions. That way, we don't waste too much of your time listening to us. But that reminds me, we want to talk with you, not just at you. So you should get in the chat live if you're watching us, right? We do this every week. You can subscribe to allelitewrapup.com. It is free, and then you'll get the emails. And that's all you're going to get. You're going to get an email a week saying, hey, going live tonight. Check it out. And then you can talk to us live. Or you can check us out on the Blue Sky, live skeet with us, etc. Yeah.
Or if you go on the website, I don't think it was an email blast sent from our account, but I did do the collaboration.
You wrote an article there.
I wrote an article about I think.
I'll post it on our site. We have it. Yeah. I think it exists on your Substack. I will move it over to
there you go. Because I put collaboration. Maybe it is.
I'll have to check.
But I wrote about the backbone, kind of the flag bearer, I believe, of AEW, Jon Moxley. So check that out. It's not that long, right? If you don't like reading long articles, guess what? It's not that. But I thought it was fun. So there you go.
Yep. Yeah, so send us an email too, aewrapup@gmail.com. If you type it out, send it in an audio clip, video clip, whatever, we'll play it, read it here. We just want to talk to fans. We want to know what you think as well. So chime in if you're listening to us live, or, follow along throughout the week, right? If you're not. Tom, before we get into the individual matches, what do you think about Forbidden Door? I personally, let me answer before,
as always,
answer the question I asked you. I've always thought of this as kind of like one of the also pay-per-views, right? Because it used to be very heavy on and now another person from New Japan who, if you don't follow New Japan, sucks to be you. And there is some of that, but we also spend some good amount of time on stories on AEW television leading to this, so I'm excited for this.
This feels the most less Forbidden Door-ish pay-per-view for Forbidden Door. This feels like it's an AEW pay-per-view. By the way, here's 5 guys from New Japan. This doesn't feel like that first year.
This better.
Well, that first year, it was every single fucking
Yeah, it was now, bragging rights or whatever they used to.
Well, admittedly, though, if you kind of look at that first Forbidden Door and then you look at AEW's roster today, guys like Okada and others, they're here. So it's like, well, what the fuck do we need to do?
We have Okada versus Swerve. That could have been, if he hadn't
a couple years ago. Yeah, you got Will Ospreay in this motherfucker. Yep. So yeah, you got some plenty of previous Forbidden Door New Japan guys who are now just AEW guys. So I'm excited though. I'm very excited for the main event. I'm very excited to share with you what I saw on AI on what they predicted for these matches, and it is wild. Okay. So yeah, let's get into our picks.
The first one. All right. Well, I've got some matches here, and if AI's got something different, let me know as we go along. Right. This is, again, it's Thursday night, the 21st of August. So if something pops up on Collision, sorry, we don't know about it.
And fun fact, we do not read spoilers, so don't act like we knew, because we didn't, because we don't. Yeah. We got, how busy it is to just be alive. Like, we gotta read spoilers. No,
we're ballers and we're doing baller things, and that's busy work,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know how many anxiety attacks I get a day?
Baller.
What? You think you think you got the anxiety levels I do, motherfucker? The hell you do?
You couldn't live this life and be this full of anxiety like me. Weak sauce, you weak ass.
You were depressed because you couldn't find your keys? Bitch, I'm living with shit from 8th grade.
Oh, you're going to work 40 hours and be afraid to get out of bed in the morning? Like, okay, sure you are. Yeah.
I get afraid when the doorbell rings. What's up now?
Yeah, you get your lawn mowed while having 3-hour cry in the shower? Fuck you, I bet you don't.
You ain't about this life.
You don't.
We're sad. Hey, so let's get into to the picks.
So tell your friends about us, subscribe to the show, and like us, and share with your friend Parentheses S. All right, Tom, the first match that we've got on All Elite Wrestling's website is the TBS title four-way. We have Mercedes Moné defending the title against Alex Windsor. And I think this is what, Bozilla and Persephone?
Yes.
Neither of those two ladies are winning this match. And I don't really, I could see how now we get, the title off Mercedes Moné in a way that, like, she wasn't involved and it saves face.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't quite feel like we're going to do that. And I think Mercedes Moné wins this.
Yeah, because I do think eventually, kind of like with FTR having all the belts and Kenny Omega having all the belts, we need to get these belts off the people before it just becomes like, what the hell is even real life anymore? With that being said, I don't know if we're going to do it at Forbidden Door where it could be other people like CMLL or like New Japan or Stardom, that could take the belts off of Mercedes Moné. And I don't think Alex Windsor is going to be that caliber yet of TBS champion. Right. So to that point, I will go ahead and pick Mercedes Moné to defend her AEW TBS championship. By the way, last night we did see Athena and Mercedes Moné defeat Toni Storm and Alex Windsor. What'd you think of the main event from last night's Dynamite?
Hard hitting, yeah. And I thought they did some good storyline stuff. And, they snuck in Athena barking orders at Mercedes Moné and her hopping too, essentially. You know what I mean?
I'll do it, yeah.
Whatever. More to follow on that, I guess. Interesting.
And the other thing that I thought was interesting, maybe what is it called? A red herring, is Windsor tapped out Mercedes Moné. Now, the thing was, Mercedes was not the legal participant, and so it didn't actually count, but it did show, hey, Alex Windsor could beat her because look what she's doing to her right now. Got her in a sharpshooter. So something to put there in the back of your brain. But yeah, I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné. What says you, Tim?
Yeah, I'm going Mercedes Moné also, but I'm more interested now in what this computer polling the field has determined. AI predicts that Mercedes Moné will win the match. They think Alex Windsor will take the pinfall loss. And they think Moné will continue to feud with these names in singles matches. So then we do a Persephone and then a Bozilla and then maybe a Windsor all one-on-one. And that's how they can get some of them to do, right? Like, all right, so we're going to do Forbidden Door and you're going to do a match on Dynamite, and you're going to do one on Collision, so you get a couple dates out of each of these ladies.
Yeah. But yeah, from AI's perspective, they think Mercedes pins Windsor. So interesting. Sounds
like AI watches the show.
Maybe they do.
We know what's up. All right, this one named last night a tag team title 3-way elimination match. Hurt Syndicate, FTR, Bro Dito. And I remember you distinctly hitting several times that, like, we were going to work into a way where Hurt Syndicate doesn't actually have to lose these titles. FTR wins. And we have that here. However, the elimination match throws a monkey wrench in normally how you would get there, right? Because normally you would have Hurt Syndicate distracted by, I don't know, MJF or something, right? Something that's pissing them off. And then FTR gets the old, Kansas City punt to Bro Dito 2 and rolls them up, and it's over.
Yeah, this with the elimination throws the wrench into what I thought was going to happen. Now, with that being said, here's what I tell this will be the fantasy side of what I want to happen, then I'll give you my pick. The fantasy side of this is FTR wins, then you're going to get FTR versus Copeland and Christian at the pay-per-view in Toronto, or I know it's in Canada, maybe Toronto, maybe Montreal, one of those
titles.
Right. Those are that's where you get that, right? And then the Hurt Syndicate would then go off with Bandito and my guy, Brody King. And you would pair that off with Shelton Benjamin gets a title shot, Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship title shot against Bandito. And then you got meat on meat, Bobby Lashley and Brody King. And that would be fun, right? So that's what I would hope would happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I still will say, though, FTR will win this.
I mean, I still feel like we're going to get there. I could see a way that I just feel like we need to get the titles off Hurt Syndicate somehow, but we also don't want them to get beat. You know? It's a weird problem to have is they're unbeatable, but now that you gave them the title, well, fuck, the title's dead. Right? Like you need the unbeatable person to kind of not have the title, if that makes sense. At sometimes. And so you could still get Brodito finding a way, but again, it's harder with elimination, right? That they go through two of them.
I will say, if you do keep the titles on the Hurt Syndicate, it almost becomes like the Moxley problem / awesome, because when Moxley finally did lose to Hangman, we lost our shit, right? Because the right person, and in this case, maybe the right team, would be developed, and then they take out the team that no one could beat.
So, but here's what I think. I kind of think we might also, I know he should be focused on his main event, men's world title match, but does MJF come around and cause Hurt Syndicate to get eliminated, and now we're guaranteed a new champion somehow, right?
Here's where I wish, if we were doing picks, if we could be selfish enough, or since we're named the All Elite Wrap-Up, AEW would give us the match list, because hypothetically, if the first match is Hangman versus MJF to kick off the show, then MJF gets
involved. Yeah.
Well, then MJF definitely gets involved in the tag match because he's like, if I'm not winning, then you don't keep your shit, right?
Well, that makes sense too. Yeah. So I kind of feel like he gets involved here, costs them, they get eliminated, and then I think FTR either wins that or Cope and Christian fuck them over too, and now we get Brodito with the tag title run, right? So I still haven't nailed down what I think there, but because I think MJF, and we're spoiler alert for when we talk later, he left himself vulnerable to some things, right? Like disqualifications, outside interference, things like that with his demands. But
he also doesn't have to cash in that contract.
True, he does not have to cash in that contract. Now, we could get in a situation where he loses, he thinks he can cash in the contract, and then they come out. So there's a lot at play here. And I like how they've done that. But I'm gonna pencil in FTR. FTR wins this.
Well, because here's the other because here's the devil's advocate to kind of conventional wisdom is you get to the Toronto, I believe it's All Out will be the next one. Right. What does the Hurt Syndicate do if they're not what does the Hurt Syndicate do if they're not tag team champs, right? That's not that far away. August to September, where they're going to get a brand new feud in 1 week,
but you could get Bobby Lashley, MJF in a feud, and then maybe Shelton, like you said, is just going off and doing a thing, or maybe one of them's got a scheduled vacation, and so we never know those things too. That's part of what sucks here. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but I also feel like what are they doing? And again, what tag team would we now? I mean, this young Slick Nick and Mr. Instant Replay are on the rise, but
yeah, that's true. Now, again, jumping back on the other side of the coin, I think Edge and Christian have to win the championship, the tag team championship at Toronto's pay-per-view because they're already, spoiler alert, they're already going to win this Sunday. So the nostalgia of them just winning, who cares if they just do it again, right? They got to do it now with something added onto it. Oh, okay. Now let's give you what AI thinks. So
you picked FTR, right?
I'm going FTR. Okay, I'm still sticking with the FTR. I guess, hold on. Before we get into AI's pick, what did you think about the 30-minute time limit draw between the two teams of Brodito and FTR? I mean, good Christ.
I like a time limit draw. I think in pro wrestling where we get so many like rubber matches and because we got to fucking fill TV time. I hate now it's fourth time we're running this match back, which it feels a lot more imperative that we run this match back when we didn't get a winner. You know what I mean? Like when we went to the time limit because nobody was the better man or woman or whatever, right? Like, and so now we've got to do it again, right? And
do it again.
It makes more sense when we get the Now we get the like last man standing, no time limits, countouts, or that kind of shit. Like, so I didn't hate it. I think on your 2-hour TV, maybe you do those in 20 minute, right? You have a 20-minute time limit draw. Maybe we could have shaved 10 minutes off, but hey, I'm not.
I thought, and timely enough, I thought the man of the match was Brody King, and this is what I want next for him. Like, I mean, he fucking ruled. He was the star of the match, in my opinion.
In a multi-man match. Now, I know we've like officially put him in a tag team now. They're a tag team now.
Yeah, I'd get rid of that though too.
I would too.
Can I tell you how I fantasy booked how that would happen? Just for funsies? No.
Turn him heel. Okay.
Well, watch this. This is what I would do for funsies. So they're going to lose, right? Let's just say Hurt Syndicate go on vacation. They're going to come back later to surprise X team. They're back. Right. Then they're doing that shit, right? So you have Brodito do one more match on Collision. They lose. Brody King starts to like, oh shit, he's going heel now. And he gets in Bandito's face, right? Which is Spanish for bandit. And he gets into his face. He's like, you blah, 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 blah. Lights go out. Lights come back on. Buddy Matthews is standing in the ring. And then you're thinking, oh, it's the Hounds of Hell.
He's not going back to where his girlfriend is.
No, because he signed long term. So yeah, he's staying with us. But you think, oh, well, now it's going to be the Hounds of whatever going to take out Bandito. But, plot twist, Brody King takes out Buddy Matthews. He's like, you are a fucking bitch. And then you get those two to have all their fun matches. And then you have him come out. He beats Buddy Matthews, so that looks good on a one-on-one, and then you get TNT Championship.
To me, it makes more sense if he continues his always being a lackey for somebody, and now he's just Bandito's like secondary rider.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. All right, so
just forever the bridesmaid, Buddy Matthews.
No. All right, so here's what AI believes. AI believes Isla, I-S-L-A, is that Isla? Isla Dawn? Don't know who that is. I looked her up. Apparently, she is a Scottish pro wrestler, formerly of the WWE. So that's probably why I don't know who she is. They think she debuts in AEW to help the Hurt Syndicate retain their championships. And that's basically the whole thing is she comes in, helps Bobby and Shelton, and now they've added one more member, and now the Hurt Syndicate are in the female ranks of hurting people.
Well, yeah, adding another person randomly to Hurt Syndicate couldn't hurt now, could it? Well, you alluded to this. The next match on the list here is Cope and Christian versus Kip Sabian, and they're saying Kill Switch. Is that just so we can set up to I'm a dinosaur?
Tim. So for anyone who doesn't know, we don't live that close to each other. We live obviously driving distance, but not like...
We both live in Kansas City, but we're not in the same state. So go figure that one.
Yeah, and we don't live close enough to where it's like if I'm out of milk, I just go hit up Tim and he'll let me borrow some milk.
We have to plan for this.
Yes. I swear on everything. If that motherfucker...
You're driving to the house?
I'm running. I will run to the fucking house. I will have that much energy to foot speed get to your house. I jumped around
the house last night when I saw that vignette start, and I was like, "Oh, holy shit!"
Now, here's just a conspiracy theory I want to share with you.
Was it Jungle Boy's hands in there?
Was it Jungle Boy? Now, look on the surface. It was, hey, he was sick. They repaired him. Now he's back. But
but who's the Frankenstein, right? That's Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Who's the Frankenstein? And if not, it wasn't Mama Wayne's hands. I think we understood that. They would have shown if it was Nick Wayne, right? Like, because why not? And they would have shown if it was Kip Sabian, because why not? And so if it was just a random person, why even show their hands?
Yeah. I think I almost talked myself into something, but it wouldn't happen. Because I feel... As we saw last night when Kill Switch debuted, even though Copeland and Christian are the baby faces, we're cheering the shit out of Kill Switch. If you get Jack Perry to then reunite Jurassic Express, well, Copeland and Christian now have to go heel.
Kill Switch and the Scapegoat?
Yeah. See, that's the next iteration of the team is those two now fully formed characters teaming back up, because before they were just, hey, it's a dinosaur and his boy, you know.
Now, I know there was an issue around the original mask, but they seem to have like been okay with that now because they're back to a green mask. It looks very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there an issue with the name Luchasaurus and we're not going to get that back, or
no,
is it just
no, we're getting it back. We're getting it back.
All right.
All right, so I guess this one is the easiest for us to agree on. It's going to be Copeland and Christian.
I feel like that, but I feel like could they not get a situation where Kill Switch murders them and we continue this, right? Like, and so Dynamite, we're running this back, right? That could happen. So
that
I'm
could
struggling
happen
a little. Maybe we get a Jack Perry situation.
Here's why I would push back on that is in the promo last night, which I thought, what'd you think of this promo from Christian and Copeland?
I like that Christian's like, nah, fuck you. I'm still me. Like, he's like, I'm the best version of myself. I don't need to change for anybody. Which
is not a lie. You know, this is the coolest Christian we've had.
Well, then Adam Copeland talked about his asshole. So that was always, that was fun.
It kind of had a feeling of one of the best dynamics I've ever seen in a tag team, but of Sting and Lex Luger, where Lex Luger, obviously it's not the same kind of heel as Christian, but he's the heel, and Sting, Adam Copeland, is like, nah, he's my buddy. That's my friend. And it's like,
I know he's got issues, but
he's
that was
all right.
one of the best lines I ever heard Sting mutter was, it was like the Horseman thing or whatever. And they were talking about Lex being a fucking yuppie or something. And he was like, I'm from Chicago. And he's like, Sting, tell him I'm from Chicago. And he's like, you're from the white yuppie part of Chicago. And he was like, what? And he's like, come on, man. Like,
I mean, he's not lying. Yeah. And so, with that, I think that's why Copeland and Christian win at Forbidden Door. Also, I mean, look, I'm not going to predict the next pay-per-view, but Copeland and Christian going up against FTR, guess who cost Copeland and Christian their tag team championships? A returning Nick Wayne, right? Because now his foot's broke. He still needs his revenge. And then we get back to Christian and Nick Wayne finishing their story, because if you read the dirt sheets or whatever, Christian was kind of like, hey, I still want to finish that story. And maybe that's how we get back to it.
Yeah. And, you know, we could still get to Scapegoat and Kill Switch.
Oh, yeah. We still got time for that.
Yeah, we could still get there. Yeah, I do think, look, we need to pick something different eventually here, but I'm not staking this Jeff Jarrett shirt on the idea that I think Kip Sabian and Kill Switch might get a win over this reunited Cope and Christian in their first match.
Well,
now if they're going to lose a match, their first match,
you
know, when they're not getting along, but, you know, what does AI think?
AI completely agrees with us. They say Copeland and Christian win, then they will challenge for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Legitimately just chalk right there. So, interesting.
But they think that's against the Hurt Syndicate.
Yes, they think it's going to be an all former WWE. That stinks. If that were the case, that would stink. I don't need to see 4 old-time WWE guys. And WWE guys.
Years combined. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't need that.
All right, well, here's one. The IWGP World Heavyweight title is on the line when the champion Zack Sabre Jr. defends against Nigel McGuinness. And as much as this run and this like love for Nigel McGuinness is happening, I don't think they're going to give him a run with the IWGP title. So Mr. Catalina Wine Mixer is winning this.
It would be cool, though, if he did, right? Because New Japan is kind of right now.
Yeah, but that's why they wouldn't do, like, they're not that tight. They're not the, like, let's give a shot in the arm and
hey, they did it with John Moxley. John Moxley was their champ. You know what I mean?
I feel like John Moxley was out of a we've seen what you've done here.
Yeah. Now, here's the interesting part of this. I think Zack Sabre Jr. wins. So far, we're agreeing on everything. We're going to get a little different. But I think the part that we need to pay attention to is if you watch Collision, at the end of Collision, when Nigel McGuinness won this chance to challenge Zack Sabre Jr., he asked Daniel Garcia, be in my corner. And Garcia was like, okay. Now, Daniel Garcia going, oh, you fucking bum. You lost. I'm going heel. Because Daniel Garcia needs a shot in the arm. This fucking guy is bland right now.
Dude,
boy, he
is
all the steam.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's lost all the steam. So,
he's the Adam Cole's of Daniel Garcia's.
Yes. See, that's how you say it. That was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect. AI agrees with us. McGinnis will. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, they think McGinnis is winning?
Oh, no. McGinnis will submit to Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah.
Will he say thank you? All right.
Yeah. Thank you. I still didn't get that. Like, I got it, but like, not if he's going to continue to wrestle.
They should have said it was fuck you. Like, that was way better. It was way cooler.
Yeah.
And it fit the character he was at the time, right? Like, fuck you. Anyway.
Yeah.
A lights out steel cage match where we get Jon Moxley, the guy you just wrote an article about, Claudio Castagnoli, Gabe Kidd, your favorite, and the two we alluded to earlier, those young up-and-comers, Slick Nick and Mr. Instant Replay, taking on Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Will Ospreay, ? Omega, and Ibushi. And I say Omega ? Because we're stating the issue with the neck a lot. So that's coming into play either in this match or before this match. What say you?
I don't think it'll be before, because this is in London. You take away Will Ospreay from the London crowd, they will fucking riot. If Darby Allin wants a death wish, have Will Ospreay not make this match, and that fucking crowd will kill him. Like,
yeah, so I agree. I think he makes the match, but we might, if he can't go, they do something early, right? Like, we get the entrance, we get the Ospreay, right? They're doing the whole thing, and then they hold everybody back, and they chair to the neck, and they got to wheel him out. Now, I've got an idea of what might happen to even the score.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is we take out Mr. Ospreay, and now everybody's like, oh no, it's 5-on-4. What are we going to do? And coming to our savior is the Mad King. Because who's gonna help protect against Moxley and the goons, and the young buck? Like, he hates all of these motherfuckers. Claudio, Gabe Kidd,
yeah, he does.
Every one of those people,
except for Moxley,
is on site. No, he's ready to go on site with Moxley right now, I bet.
Well, yes, but I'm saying, like, in story, we've seen, because the last time that we saw Moxley and Eddie, Moxley
he hates every one of those people. At best, he has a love-hate with Moxley.
Yeah, because the last time we saw him, they hugged because Eddie beat Moxley for the Continental Classic.
But you know what? You never fucking called me, dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that could be it right there. Yeah, easy. That would be amazing, especially if he takes out Gabe Kidd. I would, look, he's already a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But, man, he might overtake Hangman if he takes out Gabe Kidd.
And I don't know what our next booked events are, but I know we're going smaller arenas. So if we're going to have a return of somebody like an Eddie Kingston, we want that in front of tens of thousands who are going to go fucking nuts. And I don't know when I guess we got the Toronto one. I guess it would work there. But, and again, I don't know if he's ready yet, right? Like, that's another thing we don't know. But
I hope so.
But at either rate, we've got to pick a winner of this. And I just feel like, man, I don't know, man. I guess so far, we've got a lot of heels winning other than Cope and Christian. Is Zack Sabre Jr. still a heel over there in IWGP? I don't know. But I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Mox's crew's got to get a win here. You know?
Well, here's what I'll say. The baby faces, it's not a good sign when the healthy one is Darby Allin. Because you got Tanahashi, who, if we watched him walk to the ring last night, was pulling a bit of a Matt Hardy. Then you got Ibushi, who can't stay healthy for 2 months. Kenny Omega with the diverticulitis, which obviously it's not a touch kind of injury, but you're not healthy. And then you got broken neck Ospreay. I mean, how the fuck are they gonna win?
Ibushi hurt for long periods of time too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he can't stay healthy for 2 months. So it's like, if Darby's your healthy guy, you're probably not gonna win.
I think absent of, now listen, I mean, we could get the win and then Ospreay is standing there holding his neck and everybody's cheering, but like, I just feel like the heels win this.
It's hard for me to think Jon Moxley just loses now every single time, right?
Yeah.
He loses the Hangman, then he loses the
But he could not lose here.
rematch. But I'm just saying, like, but it would be a loss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like,
but it could spark internal tension within the Death Riders if he, say, blames Claudio.
Or they blame
Gabe was
him.
over here stabbing a motherfucker with a fork, but you trying to swing people around like it's a goddamn carousel.
I mean, that would be cool.
Getting a Claudio run of like a fuck you, the dinosaur.
All right, then I will go against you. I will go baby faces.
All right.
Which makes me feel gross.
Team happy is what we're going with here.
It makes me feel gross because I'm siding with AI because they think the Death Riders will go downhill. Now, here's the thing that they predicted, which obviously seems like could definitely happen. They think Darby Allin's going to dive off the cage.
Yeah. He's going to do that twice.
Now, they think the end comes
He's going to wrap himself in a body bag and do it.
Oh, yeah. Which the body bag thing was fun last night with Ospreay saying, like, we got your girl, and then it turns out to be Darby.
Though, because the thing that came is like he brought it out, and I was like, man, everybody's doing the body bag now. I was like, we should strictly leave that to Darby. And then after like everything started setting up, I was like, that's Darby. That's why we did it. And I was like, all right, yeah.
Now they think the finish of this match will be Kenny Omega pinning Matt Jackson with a one-winged angel. Here's where the Death Riders losing could be fun. Is then Moxley does not look at Claudio and says, "Why the fuck were you the weak link?" He looks at the jobbers, Matthew and Nicholas,
jobbers,
and you guys are the ones. Ever since we paired up together, you've cost me everything.
He was like, "We should send you back to developmental."
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, ever since that they've teamed up together, he's lost his championship, he lost the rematch, and then if they lose this,
he said, "You should go back to Florida."
Don't you guys live in Florida? Maybe you should stay there.
Go back to Florida.
Yeah.
All right. So the TNT title is on the line when Kyle Fletcher will defeat Takahashi.
Yeah. Here's where AI starts to get crazy. They think Takahashi is going to beat Kyle Fletcher.
Man, I feel like I wouldn't hate the idea of seeing something like that happen occasionally, but like I don't feel like when we're talking about the TBS or the TNT title that they're likely to do that, at least for any sort of meaningful long time. Now, this could be a turnaround on Dynamite and lose it, but you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like those are, no, they don't always do this, but I feel like those are supposed to be the brand titles, and like we're going to put those people on the TV and like show it, and like we can't really do that when they're living in Kyoto or wherever the fuck they're at, right? Like I don't.
Now the thing is, you know, if your picks stay, that means all the New Japan guys. Well, I guess Zack Sabre Jr. would win. So there you go. Because I was just thinking, like, where would New Japan even do this next year? If they're like, well, every fucking time.
And you got Takahashi or Tanahashi and Ibushi in. Ibushi. Yeah, he's New Japan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, he's AEW, but basically.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I mean. Like he's a full-time AEW contractor. Yeah.
If he could stay full-time wrestling. Kyle Fletcher wins, though. I think this is where we might get a rematch over in New Japan because I could see a Don Callis getting involved, and then Takahashi's like, no, come on my side and do this shit.
So now listen, we could both get this wrong because we don't really get into the hows and wins like we used to and make predictions on whether this is a pinfall or whatever, but like, here's what I'll say. Kyle Fletcher's not losing the TNT title.
Right.
Might Takahashi win this match? Maybe, because Don Callis is there. There's probably going to be a screwdriver involved.
The family. Because you know you're going to get Josh.
Pink screwdriver for Kyle Fletcher, don't they? Like everything
that would be
pink.
awesome. Yeah. But yeah, because you could see Lance Archer getting involved, Josh Alexander getting involved. The
Walking Weapon.
The Walking Weapon. But oh man, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Who just won their New Japan G1? Takeshita.
Yeah.
Yeah, Takeshita could be like, hey, I won your shit. Now I'm going to take your guys out.
Which remember, we've said this because he came from the organization that they don't play nice, right?
DDT
or what? Yeah. So interesting that they had him win the G1, right? Deservedly, right? He's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So AI thinks Takahashi winning the title.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, man, we just did it with the Kyle Fletcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just too early for that.
Yeah.
And it's not a good look if we're like, nah. All right, the women's world title is on the line, Tom. Where are you landing in the forever champion versus your women's world champion, the greatest pro wrestler alive in this moment, timeless Toni Storm?
Where's my heart lie? It's always going to be with Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
We saw some tension between Mercedes and Athena.
Yes.
And I don't think everybody would hate if Mercedes Moné defeated Athena to win the AEW Women's World title.
Or if Athena defeated Mercedes Moné for the TBS championship.
Yeah, there's that too. Okay.
Here's where it's hard for me to see Toni Storm win. Who would be next?
Right.
Like, who is it? Because we already ran through the Mercedes thing.
I know, but like, do we want anybody else? So like,
no. That's what
I mean? So like, the whole thing though is Timeless Toni Storm is as awesome as Timeless Toni Storm is, whether she's wearing that belt or not.
100% correct. Now, this is what I would want. Can I tell you what I think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here first off, they think Athena upsets Toni Storm and is your new AEW Women's World Champion. I want Toni Storm to win. I think Toni Storm will win, so I'm predicting that. That's my pick. Fuck you, AI. And I think it'd be fun to see Toni Storm bump up against those Death Riders in the newly added member of Chris Statlander taking on Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. You add Chris Statlander to the Death Riders, and now she wins everything and goes after Toni Storm. And Toni Storm doing her wacky promos on a Jon Moxley, a Yuta, just seems like the best thing in the world, doesn't it? That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm going Toni Storm.
Man, everything in my gut says it's such an easy pick to say Toni Storm wins this match and wins this title. But everything says, like you said, but then what? Now, I don't know if whoever's making this decision is thinking that far ahead and cares. But I keep thinking about what I just said, right? Like the match of 8 belts Monet versus your forever AEW and ROH world champion. Fuck it. Let's say we're putting all 10 titles on the line. Winner take all. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a hell of a thing there, but I just don't. But does Athena not win the big one in AEW either? Like, is she not able to, like, you know what I mean?
So who are you going with? Because I'll tell you one other thought I had with this.
Man, I feel like if I go with Toni Storm here, we only picked one match different. And so there is, like, I know we got 2 more matches to pick here, but I'm pretty sure I know how we're both going on this. So, well, the next one might be a little. Fuck it, I'm going Toni Storm. Toni Storm wins this match. Title.
Yeah. Here's also why I believe that. She lost last year in London to Mariah May. I don't think they're going to say, hey, lose again. Now, I know she's not from London, but you know what I mean? She was out there long enough that, not living, obviously, but
the big crowd goes great for the timeless, moment at the end. Yeah. All right, well, the worst named title is on the line when the unified title is up with Okada defending against Swerve Strickland.
You go first. I want your opinion.
Damn it. All right, so I feel like Swerve has to win this. Okada has to lose a match eventually. And I feel like that means we've got to put somebody like over with it, right? That doesn't need the Okada bump. I don't think Swerve needs it either, but like that helps, right? Puts him on stage with some of the best up there. I'm going Swerve. Swerve wins this unified title.
So if you would go back to our last show of picks, what really cost me was that I picked Swerve and Osprey to lose to the EVPs.
Yeah.
And then they end up winning. So you would think, hey, be a smart fucking guy. Now,
Go
don't
Swerve.
go twice against Swerve. But I'm not fucking smart. I got Okada. I'm going Okada. I think Swerve loses. I think I have no, as everyone can attest that knows me personally, you and others, I don't read that bullshit. But I think there's a reason Swerve Strickland isn't wrestling every week and out here.
Isn't getting in fights.
Yeah. I think there's a reason he's just doing little pushes, promos. I think there might be something fucked up with him. So I think he loses and goes away for a little bit because also he ain't doing much either. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of just hanging around. So yeah, I'm going Okada.
What does
Okada.
AI say? What does the
Okada
robot think?
Yeah, I don't like it. Okada went with me. They think.
They went with Okada.
They went with Okada.
Yeah, I went with Okada.
Now they think Swerve gets another shot at the next pay-per-view. So he loses, calls shenanigans, then at All Out,
Don
gets
Callis
a
fucks
rematch.
up. Now we get Don Callis and Nana to get some shots back and forth.
Yeah, and then they are banned from ringside, and then they do it again. That's
Nana in a shark cage match.
yeah.
All right.
That a double shark cage match with Nana and Don Callis, and they're just yelling at each other. You really fucked us.
Are they in separate cages? Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Next to each other. Yeah.
God
They
damn
can
it.
almost reach each other.
Yeah. And then like when one guy gets a body slam on the other one, the manager's like,
That's
got
the
you,
thing.
motherfucker. Yeah.
No, you have to get to, let's say it's like a four corners or a ladder, and then when you retrieve that, you can now let your manager out of the shark cage.
They just fall.
The match continues until a pinfall or submission.
Yeah.
All right.
Or the winner gets to keep that manager in the shark cage, and then they get 5 minutes with that manager in the shark cage.
Yes.
That would be fun too.
All right. The men's world title is on the line when Hangman Adam Page defends against MJF, who now does not have to use the contract and can change hands on a disqualification. There are no countouts, right?
Right. Yeah, so he can
Why wouldn't
win.
you just say no DQ?
Well, no, he's saying the championship can change hands on a disqualification.
So Hangman can't get himself DQ'd.
Right. Because if
Okay.
he does, then he loses the championship.
Yeah.
And then he also doesn't have to use the contract.
Yep. Is there more to follow on this? Do we get more wrinkles in this?
I don't
collisions or
think
something?
so. I don't think so. Here's where, okay, so let's
Do you
talk
think
about
they just
this.
called this because they didn't like what they did last week, or was this the plan the whole time?
I think it was just MJF got outsmarted. Well, now he has time. He outsmarts, because of the two, Hangman is supposed to be the more emotional of the two, right? So it would make sense that going into it, the one to last lose their cool would be Hangman. Let's talk a little bit about this segment from last night, though. So we see early on in the show, Mark Briscoe just yell, MJF, I'm coming for you, motherfucker, right? Okay. And then MJF approaches Ricochet and GOA, and he's like, hey, you don't like Mark Briscoe? I don't like Mark Briscoe. Why don't we go beat up Mark Briscoe? And Ricochet's like, usually I don't like you, but I definitely hate him. So deal. Hangman then later in the night comes out, cuts a promo, says MJF's not coming out because he's a coward. Tony Schiavone's like, hey, they got a camera. They're wanting to talk to you. Sorry, I have no idea what's going on. And we get backstage, Mark Briscoe unconscious, tied up. Ricochet and GOA are just kind of giggling about it. And MJF says, I want you to agree to 3 things, and then starts pouring lighter fluid on him. He says, or I burn the fuck out of Mark Briscoe. Now I said this to you via text that does no one else like Mark Briscoe?
Yeah, nobody wanted to help Mark Briscoe in the conglomeration hanging around.
Yeah, where's Hologram or Kyle Fletcher?
ROH friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go save Mark Briscoe. Well, and I saw somebody else bring up the point that Mark Briscoe's probably going to be upset that he fell for this because Mark Briscoe's definitely been set on fire before. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, that's my brother did that to me all the time. All the
Brother.
time.
Yeah.
Now,
Brother,
let's
ain't no worse than falling in the chicken shit pile.
now let's fast forward. Let me play a little bit devil's advocate. As you mentioned, Mark Briscoe might be upset with Hangman. And so he said, I thought you respected me. How did you let me get in this situation? Fuck you, Hangman. Yeah?
Could we see Mark Briscoe get manipulated by MJF somehow?
That's what I'm saying. They're like, well, I guess he did make a good point, and then
So let me tell you the heat that would emanate from MJF winning this title over Hangman so quickly after the Hangman victory would be palpable, but you got to be ready to use it in some way, right? Like you can't just let it peter out by MJF being MJF for the next 5 months. Right. Wrestling in all comers, right? Like there has to be something that comes out of that.
I agree. Also, though, how could MJF get a bigger reaction for the rest of his career, for the foreseeable career, right? Like he took Mystico's mask off and we were just like, yep, that happens. Yeah. Like we were fine with it.
But yeah, if we want to hate MJF again.
We want to hate that guy.
Fucking putting a bullet in the back of Seabiscuit's head.
Mm-hmm. Because also, what does he do? Now, I know you'd mentioned Bobby Lashley, Hurt Syndicate. We still got that kind of in our back pocket. But what does he do after this? He loses and then cool?
Yeah, but same thing with, like, I mean, do we keep running back Hangman MJF for a while? Because, like, Hangman's not just going to, like, let the loss go by. But he could disappear for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So what are you picking?
Man, Adam Page. Hangman's winning this.
I think Hangman's winning, and I think Hangman's winning because they told us that MJF doesn't have to use his contract. So he loses and then says, Toronto, whatever, lights out, right? The biggest stipulation I could think of, I will cash in that contract round 3, I guess, because they would be 1-1 at this point.
They might even try to stretch this to all in, for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah, who knows? Like, but that's what I would think. So, going Hangman, you're going Hangman.
Yeah.
AI thinks MJF wins.
Ooh, man.
They say that he wins with a low blow and then pins Hangman. There you go.
Now, could Ricochet and GOA help because they're mad at Hangman for how they treated old boy Ricochet at the end there?
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be great if they could bring that security guard with him too and let him. That guy took a straight up punch to the face. I mean, he tried to pull it at the end there, but I don't think he did so successfully.
Nope. Yeah. Hopefully he got a dinner bought for him that night because
got
that was
2
a
hot
real
dogs
punch.
and a handshake.
Yeah. Yeah, and so this is what they say. They said, despite Adam Page only winning the gold recently, AI thinks that Hangman should go back on the chase, suffering a loss to MJF before winning it back down the line again. I don't like that. I don't, because we've talked about this before.
We did the turn. Hangman's a different man right now. We don't need to go back and then come back again.
And also, we've talked about this, like with, because you had mentioned it last week on the show, but, someone was like, Ric Flair's a 16-time world champion. It's like, you lost that belt 17 times? Like, that's not impressive,
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
I don't want Hangman to be a 3-time, 4-time, 5-time within 6 months. He's not The Rock in 2000. You know what I mean? So, I want him to keep the championship. I think that's where I think the Death Riders winning makes sense because you're not going to have, rainbows and butterflies all night. So you got to offset that with something. So Death Riders winning makes sense. And then Hangman winning. Haha, there we go. We get both sides of the coin.
Indeed.
Now, who do you think? Well, I'm going Hangman. So who do you think? Let's just hypothetically say we're both right here. Hangman retains. Let's even say then the rematches the Toronto pay-per-view. Who's the next guy up though for Hangman? You hit it,
so I'm going to steal your thunder. It's Ricochet. I think it's Ricochet.
He looks the part. He needs something to do. Yep.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy
and he could easily throw MJF under the bus, right? And say like that loser was never going to beat you.
All the Hangman, like the way Hangman does his promos will fit well with the jackass of Ricochet. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah. I think Ricochet's kind of floundering. I think there's a couple of guys. I think Ricochet's floundering. I think Daniel Garcia's floundering. Not that he's necessarily floundering, but John Moxley needs a new shot in the arm.
Eddie Kingston comes back as a heel to take on the Hangman.
I couldn't watch that match, Tim. I'd have to plead the fifth. Torn. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you would have to be like, just tell me who wins.
Yeah, just I'll watch their entrances, and then when they get in the ring, I'll turn it off, and you just tell me
the hat or the crown, and just let me.
Yeah, yeah. You text me some Timberlands or a cowboy hat, and I'll know by that who won the fucking match. I can't do that. No. Look, there's a.
I imagine like if we were watching it at like the Comedy Club in Kansas City, you would have to like go out to the car for that match.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gonna take a smoke break. Like, I didn't know you smoke. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Nope, just gonna sit in my car. You know what I mean? Act like I'm smoking.
There, yeah. I couldn't do it. That would suck.
What do you think overall, though? I feel like this could wind up being one of the pay-per-views we remember most fondly for the year if all these go down well.
I'm hoping for moments. I'm thinking that we're going to get moments because we don't have a lot of time to work with until the next pay-per-view. So getting the big moments that sparks the next feuds quickly is the way to go.
All right. Gun to your head. Does my Eddie Kingston prediction come true?
I hope. I really fucking hope. I hope it's the cage match.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's the cage match.
Yeah.
Here's where I think maybe it won't, just because this is how I could see him being. Only knowing this from Anthony talking to me about when Eddie was his mentor. Eddie's not the biggest fan of travel. So I don't know if Eddie wants to be like, I'm flying all the way there for
it's like a 6-7 hour flight and shit
for 5 minutes of one thing. Like, I'll wait till you guys are back here and I'll make my debut in Chicago.
Also, we got to give props to the Hangman using the public transit. When the last time they were in London, a certain bitch ass complained about having to use the public transit in London.
But
my wife was just there. Loved it. Loved the public transit.
Hey, Pat McAfee, I just put him in a little choke. You know what I mean. Fucking punter. Shut the fuck up, you fraudulent cunt. God, he's such a fucking loser. How is he married? How is it that every day someone spends their life with that fucking miserable twat? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I haven't thought about that, but now I'm going to think about that.
Because, you go back and you watch his little WWE documentary, and he talks about how his parents didn't really like him that much, and that's why he became friends with this one girl, and that girl's parents raised him. I could probably see it. The parents are probably the good guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're the fucking mistake, you waste of oxygen. God. He's the worst. The only thing good about him is his cute, adorable dog, Larry. That's it. Everything else sucks. And I bet you if Larry had a choice, he'd run away. He would have ran away when he could.
Larry has Stockholm Syndrome.
Or how interesting is it that he can't move? Oh, he just has to be in this little cart all the time. Why is that? Punk? Maybe because you drugged him? You dog killer? Look at that. Now I'm just throwing that he's a dog killer.
Well, everybody should tell us their thoughts on the CM Punk situation. Send us an email. You can also tell us your picks for this match. You heard mine. You heard Tom's. You heard AI's. We want to know yours. Hit us up throughout the week, and you can come back next week and see Tom wearing that Jeff Jarrett shirt again because he's going to lose these picks. We have to pick a tiebreaker right here. We picked Swerve and Okada different, and we picked Mox and Crew different. And, man, you gave me a very convincing reason why Swerve might not win this. But I'm really not sold on either of them. So I'm going to pick Mox and Crew as my tiebreaker.
Okay.
So there we go. And then I guess with all that said and done,
I will see you next week, dumbass.